The sun was sinking behind the Golden Hills when Amelia Carter turned her car onto the narrow gravel road leading to her countryside home. She had spent the last 3 weeks in the city for a work project and longed for peace. The smell of the pine trees, the quiet of the fields, the comforting sound of her old wooden porch creaking under her feet. But as the car rolled closer, something didn't feel right. Music drifted through the air, not the soft hum of nature, but loud laughter, upbeat songs, and the unmistakable rhythm of a celebration. Amelia frowned. The road was lined with cars, dozens of them. Her gate, usually locked, stood wide open. Balloons and fairy lights hung across her fence. The garden lights glowed, and her yard, her private yard, was filled with people in bright clothes, holding plates of food, drinks in hand. Her heart started pounding. She parked her car, stepped out slowly, and just stood there for a few seconds, trying to make sense of what she was seeing. There were tents, tables, music speakers, a catering setup, and at the center, a decorated wedding arch covered with white and gold flowers. It was a wedding, at her house, without her knowing. She walked closer, stunned, until one of the waiters turned and smiled nervously. Ma'am, you're early. The guests are still arriving." "Early?" Amelia asked in disbelief. "What are you talking about? Who gave you permission to be here?" Before the waiter could answer, a voice called out, "Aunt Amelia!" Amelia turned and saw Sophie, her distant cousin, the same one who had borrowed her garden tools once and never returned them. Sophie looked radiant, dressed in white lace, holding a bouquet. "Oh, Aunt Amelia!" Sophie exclaimed, rushing toward her. "I'm so happy you came. I was going to call you earlier, but, well, surprise." "Surprise," Amelia's voice trembled. "You used my house, my home, for your wedding, and you didn't even ask me?" Sophie's smile faded slightly. "Oh, come on, Aunt Amelia. It's not a big deal. You were gone, the house was empty, and you always said you loved sharing your space. Plus, it's perfect for pictures. The hills, the lake view, everyone loves it." Amelia could barely breathe. Guests were laughing, taking photos on her porch, drinking from her glasses, walking through her kitchen as if it were a public venue. "Sophie," Amelia said slowly, "do you realize this is trespassing? You invaded my property. You didn't even have the decency to call me." Sophie rolled her eyes. "Auntie, please don't make a scene. It's my special day. We'll clean everything after, I promise. Just be happy for me, okay?" Amelia stared at her, at the girl she'd once babysat, whose family she had helped during hard times, and felt something break inside her chest. She turned and walked inside her house. Her living room was full of coats, shoes, and boxes of wedding supplies. Her antique piano had champagne glasses on it. Her dining table was covered with makeup and curling irons. It was like her home had been taken hostage. She felt tears stinging her eyes. In her bedroom, she sat on the edge of the bed, shaking. All she had wanted was peace. She had worked hard all her life for this little home, after losing her husband, after raising her son alone. This house was her soul's safe place. And now, it felt like a stranger's party venue. For a long moment, she just sat there, listening to the laughter outside, wondering if she should call the police or walk out and scream. But instead, she whispered, "Breathe, Amelia. Breathe." She got up, walked to the mirror, and looked at herself, the sadness, the disbelief. Then she walked back outside. The music had started. Sophie and her new husband were about to exchange vows under the arch Amelia had built with her late husband years ago, the same place where they'd planted their first tree. Amelia felt her chest tighten. When the officiant said, "If anyone objects to this marriage, speak now," she almost stepped forward, but she didn't. She stood silently, watching, tears rolling down her face. The ceremony ended. Applause echoed through her yard. As everyone moved to eat, Sophie walked up to her again. "See? It went great. Thank you for letting us use your place. You're a lifesaver." "I didn't let you," Amelia said quietly. "You took it." Sophie sighed. "Auntie, stop being dramatic. We'll clean up tomorrow." Amelia said nothing. She simply turned, walked to the main power switch near her porch and flipped it off. The lights went out. The music stopped. Gasps filled the air. She turned back, her voice steady but full of pain. "This isn't a public venue. This is my home. You didn't ask because you knew I would say no. That's not family, Sophie. That's betrayal." People started whispering. Sophie's mother, Amelia's cousin, rushed up, embarrassed. "Amelia, please don't ruin her big day. You know how expensive weddings are." Amelia laughed bitterly. "Expensive? You saved money by using my property without permission. You humiliated me in my own home. You didn't even think of what this place means to me." Her voice broke. "Do you remember my husband, Michael? This garden was his dream. You've turned his memory into a party backdrop." The crowd went silent. Sophie looked down, ashamed. Amelia took a breath and continued, her voice trembling. "I won't throw you out. I'm not cruel. Finish your meal. Celebrate your love. But tomorrow morning I want every trace of this gone, and I want you to remember, respect is more important than decoration, Sophie." She turned and walked inside. The next morning she woke up early. The yard was quiet. The decorations were gone. The tables were cleared. Sophie and her family had left without saying goodbye. But something else was waiting on her porch. A single white envelope. Inside was a handwritten letter. "Dear Aunt Amelia, you were right. I didn't think about what this place means to you. I was selfish. I thought you'd be happy to see us use it, but I realize now that I disrespected your home and your memories. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I'll never forget what you said about respect being more important than decoration. Love, Sophie." Amelia sat on the porch steps holding the letter, her eyes wet. The garden was peaceful again. The wind rustled through the leaves. Somewhere far away, church bells rang. She closed her eyes and whispered, "I forgive you." And for the first time in a long while she felt calm, like her home was hers again. Moral message. True love isn't about grand weddings or beautiful places. It's about respect. For people, for memories, for what others hold dear. And forgiveness, even when undeserved, is the only way peace returns home. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and share if you enjoyed the story, and subscribe for more stories that touch your heart.